Hey guys! So as you know, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is coming out on Friday. Very, very big moment for lots of people, me included. And I thought I'd do a few videos about Harry Potter. Should have started this sooner because, you know, Harry Potter is like a huge part of my life. Huge, huge. Like, you don't even know yet how huge a part of my life Harry Potter was. So I thought I'd get things started with another great Sheroes video, this time for Hermione Granger, who is next on my list. So I asked a friend of mine what she thinks the general impression of Hermione Granger is, and she summed it up pretty well when she said that Hermione gives womankind a very good name. And I totally agree. There are many reasons why she is one of the greatest female characters ever written. First off is that she's extremely independent. When you think about it, she comes from a Muggle family. She is a Muggle-born witch, which means that until she was 11 years old, she was living in this completely different universe where being a witch wasn't something that was even considered a possibility. And she had about 2 months to process this, and already by the time we meet her in the first book, she knows what she's doing, and it's like she's been a witch her whole life. So to adjust to that basically in the space of one summer is mind-boggling, actually. And I think it is a testament to her intellectual nature. She studies like no other person I have ever heard of. Who else has heard of an 11-year-old that reads history textbooks, like Hogwarts and history, back to front and front to back? I don't either. And it's this sort of tenacity that shows that she's not afraid to live life the way she chooses. She's told she's a witch, she owns that, she completely owns that and says, okay, yeah, this is the life I'm going to do. And it just seems to be a great fit for her. And she actually becomes so independent, like when you think about it throughout the book, she barely sees her parents at all. Like she's at school most of the year, most of the summer she stays with Ron, or she goes to the Quidditch World Cup, she stays over Christmas, and it's like the instant she was accepted to Hogwarts, she was grown up. And it's because of this maturity and intelligence, I would say, that Hermione is the architect of Harry's success. Yes, Harry is destined to do these things, and Ron is kind of the emotional support. Without Hermione helping him with the more tactical thinking and strategic side of things, I don't know if Harry would have survived as well as he did. She is the brains behind all their plans. She is always prepared for anything, and this is especially evident in the last book, where she has her moleskin bag, and she has the tent and the reading materials and anything they could possibly ever need. But she has everything planned pretty much down to the letter, and she knows the subject of Horcrux hunting pretty much inside out as much as she possibly can. And this is only one of the big scary adventures that Hermione's brought along after befriending Harry. Starting in Philosopher's Stone. Yes, I'm Canadian, we say Philosopher's Stone here too. She helps figure out all the challenges leading up to the Philosopher's Stone in the big chamber. And the scariest of which, I think, is that logic puzzle. And she had to figure out which one of the bottles was safest to drink that would get Harry through the flames going forward and her through the flames going back. And she showed some bravery there too when she looked at Harry in the eye and said, look, you're a great wizard, Harry. That just melts my heart, that scene, because it's the beginning of her knowing that she has this friend that she could potentially lose at any moment. And that takes a lot of courage to deal with, let alone help him through it so beautifully. Oh, and another instance of her bravery is at the end of the series when she has to memory charm her parents into thinking that their lifelong ambition is to move to Australia just to get them out of harm's way. You see, it's one thing for her to have this friend who is getting in danger and who she has to put herself in danger for, but it's quite another when she knows that her parents are in danger kind of because of that and because of what's going on. And just that scene at the beginning of the first part of the 7th movie where she erases all the photos, that was just heartbreaking. And it really shows that Hermione like owns her place and she knows the consequences of what's going on and she will deal with them and take responsibility. And Hermione's bravery is not just manifested in the things that she does for Harry and in the war effort. It's also in her complete lack of fear for being exactly who she is. Hermione is not afraid to be smart. That's just who she is, and people just gotta deal. In fact, she is so smart she could well be considered nerdy, and some people kind of get scared around stuff like that. Like, I remember in early interviews Emma Watson was saying about how she kind of wanted to distance herself from that character. But in more recent interviews she has stated that she thinks Hermione is basically the best role model a girl could have. And I am a living example of that. In grade 6, partially at my insistence, I think, my nickname was Hermione. I was very, very bookish. I wasn't afraid to be smart either. I was that kid who always had her hand up for every answer and was like super, super eager and who always got like 100% on spelling tests and other things. And reading the Harry Potter books, I saw Hermione and I thought, oh man, someone just like me. And then I tried to emulate her. This did become troublesome once I got into middle school, because I was faced with I went through a lot of not nice stuff in middle school. But I figured that if Hermione could be super smart and have awesome friends like Harry and Ron, then I could too. It was just, you know, this was going to happen, and right now was just an awful transition period. Now, the only reason I don't have Hermione as my #1 great heroine is because I feel that her character completely falls apart in the face of love. Now, I know it's not the most popular opinion in the Harry Potter fandom, but I just don't think that Ron is the right guy for Hermione. I just don't. I feel that the love-hate dynamic in their relationship is just not very nice, and there's too much bickering and fighting. And especially in book 6, I feel that Hermione was just totally not herself. I mean, she puts a confundistrum on Cormac McLaggen just so Ron can get on the Quidditch team, and to me, that's not something that the Hermione of the first 5 books would do. She's far too practical for that. And the Hermione of the first 5 books, I think, would go out with someone who's nice to her most of the time. Like Harry. But that's a whole nother video. So, in summary, for generally giving womankind a very, very good name, I dub you, Hermione Granger, a great Shero. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you in the next one. Bye! 2 more days. 2 more days.